You're used to the template of, if I put in the work and I do what I'm told, I'll see the result. You did what you needed to do to be able to climb the ladder, and so now you should win the game. But when you're injured, sometimes you put in the work and you do what you're told, yet it doesn't pay off because it's chutes and ladders. It's a different template.
Welcome to the Injured Athletes Club podcast, the show that helps athletes cope with sports injuries and bounce back stronger. I'm journalist Cindy Kozma.
And I'm mental skills coach Carrie Jackson. We're sorry you're here, but we're glad you're with us.
This week, Coach Carrie is going to use her expertise as a certified mental performance consultant to address an issue that's top of mind for many injured athletes. But before we get into the show, we wanted to make sure you knew about an important and fun resource we have for you.
Yes. Did you know that we have an Injured Athletes Club merch store? Oh my goodness. So if you head over to our website and look for the tab that says shop and click on that, you will find all kinds of amazing things there for you to help inspire you during your injury recovery. And one in particular we want to highlight today is the journals that we have. It's a challenging experience for many athletes to navigate missing out on the sport that you love and navigating all of these challenging things, which you're going to hear about. One of those particular challenges in this episode, and having a journal, having a place to be able to write stuff down, and also even writing down your wins or turning it into a gratitude journal. There's so many great ways to use that mental training tool throughout your recovery. And if you head over to our merch store, so again, it is on our website, click on shop, you can click on journals, and there's all kinds of different options there for you, from a journal that says recovery is now my sport to stronger every day, just inspirational journals to get you through this challenging time. So we hope you check it out.
And that website, by the way, is at injuredathletesclub.com. This season of the Injured Athletes Club is brought to you by Lever Movement. The lever system is an innovative way to reduce your body weight and the impact on your joints while exercising on a treadmill. It's perfect for returning to running after an injury or break, or for adding volume or speed without increasing your risk of getting hurt. We all love that. Also, it's portable and you can set it up in less than 2 minutes. Use code TIAC20, that's TIAC20, to get 20% off your purchase. Check out Lever today and take your training to the next level. All right, with that, let's get on to this week's question, which actually isn't just from one listener this week. Coach Carrie, tell us what's going on here.
Yeah, so for our final Q&A episode of Season 8, we decided to do something a little different. We thought it might be fun if I picked out a theme that has been coming up with my individual coaching clients as well as in the rebound coaching group. So it's a question, instead of answering a specific listener question, we're answering a question that comes up again and again and again. And that question is, how do I deal with expectations around timelines? So when you receive a recovery timeline from your surgeon or your physio or your PT, you immediately create an expectation in your mind of when you should be recovered or when you should be able to return to physical activity. The challenge is that sometimes the expectation you create in your mind is an unrealistic expectation, but you don't know it. You don't know whether it's realistic yet. You take the timeline on as if it is carved in stone, and you judge yourself against that original timeline and feel like you failed or feel like something's wrong with you because you didn't meet the expectation, right? So there's a disconnect between what's happening with your body and what you thought was going to happen. And that's confusing and scary. So you don't see that the original expectation was a guideline, not a timeline. Instead of staying in the moment and listening to your body and making adjustments, you feel disappointed and scared and frustrated and angry. It feels unjust. And in that feeling of unfairness, you may also experience feeling resistance and fight against adjusting your expectations and then get stuck. So, the analogy actually that I used to use all the time, and I still do, is that recovering from injuries is like doing a kitchen remodel. They tell you it's going to be 6 weeks, and it ends up being 12. And 6 weeks is the projection if everything goes exactly according to plan. The 6-week projection is the one that's given to win the bid and doesn't account for supplies that are on back order and people that decide not to show up for work, and et cetera, et cetera. And it is I feel like it's a helpful analogy sometimes, just in that, like, things don't always take as long as you think they're going to. Sometimes they take longer. But another analogy that came to me recently as I was working with an injured athlete is that it's also kind of like chutes and ladders, which I don't know if you played that game at all, Cindy, when you were a kid, but I hated that game. And I know other kids that loved it. I hated that game so much because and I actually, what I should probably do is buy one and like play it on a regular basis to remind me of the nature of life and to practice my mental skills when I hit the slide, because I hated it so much and it felt so unfair. It like, you're on your way to winning the game and you climb the huge ladder and you can see the finish line only to be sent flying down a chute on your next roll. And now your sister's ahead of you and you're a really competitive person. So you want to scream and cry and throw the board in the garbage. That might be a true story. I don't know, but like, it just made me crazy. And I was like, I don't know. I was thinking about it and I was like, oh man, it's kind of like chutes and ladders. And the thing to remember with this idea is that the template you're used to in your athletic endeavors does not apply when you are injured. You're used to the template of, if I put in the work and I do what I'm told, I'll see the result. You did what you needed to do to be able to climb the ladder, and so now you should win the game. But when you're injured, sometimes you put in the work and you do what you're told, yet it doesn't pay off because it's chutes and ladders. It's a different template. One of the things that's really interesting about this idea of timelines and how we hold them so tightly is, one of the reasons this came up for me is that we're just wrapping up the spring 2025 rebound coaching groups. And what struck me was, as we're wrapping up and kind of sharing our experiences about the group and what it meant to be there, people often speak to like how they really struggled with timelines and have come to a place of acceptance. And sometimes, like, as they describe it, they're not even sure how it happened or how they got there to this place. I mean, I might have a little insight into how it happened, but they just know that at the end of that 8 weeks, they feel differently about how they're holding on to timelines than the way that they felt about them when they started. And they realize over that 8 weeks that they needed to loosen the grip on the timelines and understand them as guidelines. So one of the things I often say is that your recovery never goes as quickly as you want it to because you don't want to be injured in the first place. Acceptance means also working on patience, being patient with your body, being patient with the process, and accepting that your body has its own timeline, regardless of what anyone else says or thinks or wants. You have to get to a place where you honor your body above all else. You have to honor what your body needs over what your mind wants. And that can be a very challenging thing to do when you're just feeling so desperate to want to get back to your sport and feeling crushed that you're not back at that original timeline that you thought you would be. So you really have to just like settle into that space of letting your body let you know what it's ready for and what it's not ready for, and being patient with that process, which we know is hard, which is partly why we wrote the book and started the Facebook Injured Athletes Club group and all of these things, because we know how challenging this is. So we are thinking of you as you are navigating all of these things, because we know it's tough, but we also know that you can get through it.
That is so true. And Coach Carrie, I think that is the perfect message to end this season on. And we will be back in a few months, which we know is going to seem like forever at the start, but we promise you it will go faster than you think. And just like you can navigate the changing timelines of your recovery, you can navigate this timeline too. If you miss us while we're gone, we have tons of back episodes for you to listen to. This is episode number 156, which means there are 155 other episodes that you can go back and replay or play for the first time. And you can find links to all of those at injuredathletesclub.com, as well as in Apple Podcasts or Spotify or just about anywhere else you listen to your podcasts. While you're there, if you've gotten something out of the show, we would love it if you would rate it and review it or share it with another injured athlete. That way we can help get the word out and help other people find us and get the support that you have come to expect from this show. Also, you can head to our website, injuredathletesclub.com. There you can click on the shop button to find all of the great merch that Coach Carrie was talking about in the intro. You can also click on the link to join our Facebook support group for injured athletes. There are people there 24/7, always ready to respond to a post, to reach out and make a comment of support and commiseration. I mean, it is just full of people who understand what you're going through because they have been there too, or they're there right now. And also, Coach Carrie mentions the rebound coaching groups in this episode, and that is something that will be coming up again later in the fall too. So there'll be a link on the website as well for coaching, and you can get more information there about the next round of groups, as well as one-on-one coaching from Coach Carrie. We are so grateful to Lever Movement for sponsoring this season 8 of the Injured Athletes Club podcast. We are so grateful to Jeremy Nessel for editing every single episode of the show. I am grateful to Coach Carrie for being a partner in this project for all of these years. And we are so grateful to all of you for listening and being a part of this fantastic community. So again, keep checking out all the resources we have for you on our website, injuredathletesclub.com. Until next season, we will see you there.